people such as farmers, truckers, and ordinary Canadians are struggling with high fuel costs, the Liberals are only interested in taxing fuel another 50 or 60 cents a litre. Mr. Speaker, high taxes, extravagant spending, and pulling their support for agriculture is the culture and the opposition strategy. But it's certainly not what Conservatives believe in. Thank you.
100 jobs lost. Oshawa, 900 jobs lost. Yet this morning the Finance Minister was in Toronto misleading Canadians again and claiming that this government has done such a great job with the economy. Unfortunately, also this morning, General Motors announced the loss of another 1,400 jobs in Windsor.
Shameful.
So instead of pretending that the economy is rosy, when will this government wake up and smell the coffee and actually start doing something?
Mr. Speaker, that the Liberals like to badmouth Canada's economy. They like to talk it down. But we don't do that. What we did is we looked last fall at the slowdown that was to come in the economy. We provided a stimulus in the economy amounting to 1.4% of the GDP. The result of that sort of thing, that sort of action, Mr. Speaker, in advance, is that last month there were 19,200 new jobs in Canada, despite the economic slowdown in the United States.
My colleague persists in trying to make us believe that everything is going well in the best of all possible worlds with respect to the economy. But what's he going to say today to the workers in Windsor? Honourable the Minister of Finance.
I say to the people who live in my own constituency, Mr. Speaker, and I actually know a lot of auto workers, which I doubt the member opposite does. And we are concerned with job losses, of course we are. But the reality is the auto industry is going through a significant restructuring in Canada. What we can do is we can help that industry come out of the restructuring stronger and technologically sophisticated. That's why we have the Automotive Innovation Fund in Budget 2008, $250 million. That's why we have the Accelerated Capital Cost Allowance. This is a government that takes action, not just talk.
I think that the honourable member is somewhat destabilized. We know that last week they tried to create a ruckus about the visit of the Governor-General, who, on behalf of Canada, has made all of Canada and all Canadians very proud of what she has been doing in France. In France, she has been there and has represented Canadians in a very dignified way. The foundation of Quebec is central to Canadian
inquiry into the Mulroney-Schreiber affair. The government has known for 6 months. The Prime Minister promised a public inquiry, and yet all we get is delay and denial by this government. Mr. Speaker, the question is quite simple. When is the government going to appoint a commissioner to conduct a true and fully independent public inquiry?
Mr. Speaker, I know that the honourable member, as chair of the committee that dealt with this, that committee's detailing investigation of this did delay the commencement of a public inquiry for some time. And I do note that it was under his chairmanship that the member for West Nova was permitted to go ahead and ask questions that the Ethics Commissioner has since found were inappropriate. So we're going to make sure that when we do things properly on this side, even if he can't.
Member for his hard work, as he knows I've just outlined the plans. But I know this, Mr. Speaker, there's not a Canadian who would trust the Liberals around their gas pumps. That's because, firstly, in 1995, the Liberals knew all about this. The difficulties with gas pump measurements were brought to their attention, Mr. Speaker. They did nothing. But it goes beyond that. It's the current policy of the Liberal leader who wants a Liberal Dion gas tax, Mr. Speaker. The real issue is tax guzzling Liberal spending. We won't have any of it.
Getting parts is hard because they don't even make them anymore. In December, they ran out of spare propellers. Their old civilian aviation instruments may not even allow them to go some places. If you're a Canadian in need of rescue in the most critical time of your life, watch out, because the planes may not be there.
15 long, horrible years and over a decade of darkness is that party across the way. When we want to talk about programs that have been delayed, let's talk about the Seeking Replacement Program. 1993, former Prime Minister Chrétien tore that up. We're still working to fix that mess. This party opposite left more messes for the Canadian Forces that this party in government is cleaning up. And again, after decades of darkness, the Canadian Forces finally has some long-term stability, funding, and a plan that will take us to 20 years and beyond to fulfill the mandate that we give to Canadian Forces and that they fulfill on behalf of Canadians and on behalf of our allies around the world.
Minister of Human Resources.
Speaker, this is the way the bloc operates. Every time we bring forward increases to guaranteed income supplement, 7% over and above inflation in the last 2 years, we bring forward improvements to the earned income exemption. We lower their taxes dramatically thanks to the Minister of Finance. You know, back home, Mr. Speaker, they complain about not having enough for people in the ridings. When they come here, they vote against everything. Talk about gross hypocrisy.
The honourable member